Is your attacking AI brainless and never giving you attacking options? Your striker not on getting behind, running inside of the net? Well, then you need to learn to use directed runs. As you can see here, it creates so much attacking space, gives you passing options, and ultimately allows you to control where your AI moves. Very effective for evolving your attack. And so today, I am going to show you how to do this as well as when and where this is most effective. Two places I really love using this. One, your player just keeps running in behind or running aimlessly in one direction. You adjust their run and call them back. And two, your player gets stuck behind a defender. You want to keep them in the attack, allow them to be a passing option, so we adjust their run. Here you can see Griezmann, we pull him towards the ball. We still don't pass it right away, but you can see he stays in that vicinity to give us a passing option. Leads to a very, very simple goal after that. Very helpful and effective. Now, one big tip here that I like to use, the trainer. Directed runs indicator on. What this does, it allows you to see the triangles when you send a player on a run. Side note though, in champs, trainers disabled. We cannot use this, but for rivals, draft, objectives, whatever friendlies we're playing, you can see the arrows, but in champs, you cannot see the arrows. Second side note, if there's a different setting you want on here that's for some reason grayed out, go into kickoff, turn it on. I believe Squad Battles lets you. If you're still having issues though, feel free to leave a comment. I'll be more than happy to help you. Let's get into it. To send a player on a run, click the left bumper or L1. They go forward, right bumper or R1 calls them back. We have slowed this down. Live controller, top right of the screen, so pay attention to that. We want to look at the player or their relative vicinity of where they're standing. We're going to click the left bumper or L1 to send them forward, RB or R1 to bring them back to the ball. Again, just for demonstrative purposes, have the ball with Zizou. I look at the player I want. Left bumper L1 sends him forward. Right bumper R1 brings him back towards the ball. Again, you can do this with different players. So you can see I send Cafu forward with the left bumper, call a different player short with the right bumper. Now for the directed runs. After you click the bumper, flick your right stick in the direction you want the player to run. So as you're going to see here with Hullet, get the ball. I'm going to go forward, click my bumper, right? And after I click my bumper here, I'm going to flick the right stick down to bring Zizou towards the ball. Big thing here that people make a mistake, and pay attention to the controller. When you do this, do not hold the bumper down the whole time. We're just clicking or tapping it. If you keep holding it down, you're more than likely going to mess up and have some problems. So we tap the bumper, flick the right stick in the direction we want the player to go. I will answer some questions in a second here regarding which bumpers and how to do things, but just pay attention to the timing. Here, I really like using it for creating passing space so that defenders cannot cut out your passes. Again, left bumper forward, right bumper to come back, just so we remember that real quick. But I'm going to show you again another example like that Zizou one, where you use it to create passes where your opponent's AI cannot just intercept it easily. So you're going to see here, I'm going to bring Pelé close to the ball. And now watch what I do with Dino here. A lot of the times, the AI will just intercept a pass that you think is wide open and step on it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a better passing angle by flicking my right stick up so that he goes a little bit further from the center back to create such an easy chance. Now, really, really big thing. Listen up here. When you do a directed run, watch what happens if I don't pass the ball to the player. He's just going to keep running, and he's going to go all the way to half field, and now he's actually not helping us, and he's out of the play. So what can we do to adjust this? If you're not going to play the ball to that player, re-flick your right stick again, meaning, watch, I'm going to flick it left, but then I'm going to immediately flick it back to the right, and you're going to see he adjusts his run. So you can get really creative with doing double directed runs on a player. Here you can see, send Pelé to the left, resend him to the right, and now I'm going to show you one more time here with Dino. Pay attention to the two differences. With Pelé, I clicked the bumper, flicked it, clicked the bumper, flicked it. With Dino here, I'm not re-clicking the bumper. I'm just going to flick the right stick left then right, so pay attention, rewind if you need to. Again, I'm going to show you a few more examples here and then get into some really, really good tips that can help you master and evolve this. Like I said at the beginning, I like this for bringing a player back to create an easy passing option. You can see in a lot of these examples, I'm kind of coming down the side the striker would not really be open because he's just running with the center back. And we bring them back to get a very, very simple pass. Really helpful, very effective in that. That's where I really like using it, either with a winger to the striker, or if you have two strikers that are running together, you can adjust the run of one of them to really, really make sure you have that passing angle. Now, with FIFA or EAFC, core mechanics stay the same for the most part every single year. So what I'm going to show you here is just for understanding purposes. So don't actually pay attention to what the game looks like. But look at how I'm going to be sending players on side runs to create attacking space. Yes, don't pay attention to the gameplay again. Just pay attention to the actual directed run. Yes, this is an old game, but I've been using this for years and nothing has changed. It's the same mechanic, same thing. You can send players not only back, but bring them on sideways to create space. And as you're going to see here, very, very good examples that I like to show you. And here's an example of a double directed run. Send Vinny double, get him to the wing, able to get him the ball. After that, we're cooking. That's not the point of the video, but just understanding how you can send the players on different types of runs. Again, you can see a sideways run rather than the player just running aimlessly forward. Now I'm going to let Old Yoshi give you a quick little explanation of directed runs. Make it excessive. Watch. I look at the player that I want to make on a run, and I'm just going to spam it over and over. Watch, I'm clicking my right bumper and just flicking it back and forth. And one thing to note is you can click L1 or R1 or LB, or it doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. What I preferably do is if I think I'm going to want my player to make a forward run, I will click L1 because then that way when he first gets triggered, he'll go up. And if I want him to come short and make a run or come back before turning, I'll use R1. Doesn't matter which one you use. So hopefully Old Yoshi made some sense and allowed you to understand a way of practicing these directed runs. You'll get them down. It is a little annoying in champs that you can't see the arrows this year, but overall, you'll get an understanding. And the big thing, I hope you've made it this part of the video, the reason I like using this is your opponent cannot actually see it. Meaning, one, they won't see the arrows if we have the arrows on, but two, when the player's making the run, when you use like a player lock or something else, they can actually see the player you took control of. In this case, they cannot actually see the player you're taking control of. And so by being able to adjust your AI, a lot of the times it will throw your opponent off because they're not going to be expecting it. Again, re-showing you some of these clips just so you can see. Really pay attention to how the AI is moving, and it really helps me to create very, very simple scoring chances. I hope this tutorial helped you. Let me know what other tutorials would you like to see. I'm more than happy to help you guys. Want to get you to some higher ranks. And as always, stay wiggly.